Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Video Game Losers show here on the Pop Culture Network. As always, I'm your host, Dirt, joined by the other host,
Killing.
Yes, we're both hosts. Co-hosts, you might, in fact, even want to say.
No, I just want to be a host, and you can be a host.
Oh, so we're just host?
I don't. You know what? Co sounds like you're lower than.
So does that mean together? If you're a host and I'm a host, then together are we hosts or hostesses?
Hostesses.
Hostesses.
Yep.
That's how that works.
That's how
you make the plural.
That is killing English.
But now I want some zingers. Maybe a cupcake.
Let's not even go there.
All right. Well, folks, let's talk first, as we normally do, about some of the video game news going out there. First up, the PlayStation Vita. It's actually been somewhat of a success. I know, shocking, right? Originally, Jack Tretton, president of Sony in the United States, had said they hoped that they would sell about 500,000 Vitas in the United States. Well, it turns out that worldwide, they've sold 1.2 million in the first, what has it been, a week now? That it's been out on the market. They were hoping for 500,000 in the first 3 weeks. So far, it's doing really good, and worldwide, much better than they had actually
They don't
expected.
have very much confidence in a product. They're like, it should probably sell about 500,000.
Yeah, we might sell 250,000 units.
You know what's funny is I bet Taco Bell, with their giveaway, probably bought up 25% of those to give out.
But they also have sold 2 million units of software. So that is a pretty good sell number. Unlike the Wii is the number one selling video game console, I think, of all time. And it sells at a software rate of like 0.3 because everybody gets Wii Sports and they just stop there. So doing pretty good as far as that goes.
That's right. Don't give us any free games and you'll make money, thieves. Hope your product burns. Go.
All right. Next up, the developers of Joustin' Beaver have sued Justin Bieber because the people who control Justin Bieber with their Sith-like mind devices have sued the developers of Joustin' Beaver because they say they're using Justin Bieber's likeness. Basically, the game, they say, is a parody of Justin Bieber. You are a beaver with bangs, a purple sweatshirt, and a pole. And as you go down the river, you knock over what they call photo hogs, who are trying to take your picture. He signs autographs, and he has to watch out for the whirlpool of celebrity that can make him spin out of control.
So basically, this is the old arcade game Wipeout.
What was it? A Tubin is what it reminds me of.
Yeah.
Is Tubin. But yeah, that's basically what it is. And they say it's parody, and Justin Bieber's people are trying to sue them, saying, no, it infringes on his likeness, personality, and therefore...
He had to see that and go, oh no, dog, I'm calling somebody. Or whatever he would say, because who cares?
Oh, no, you didn't.
Like,
oh, no, you
who
didn't.
Who cares, man?
Because I'm Canadian,
Somebody could make a parody of me, and I'd be like, all right.
I'd be like, oh, yeah.
Play my game. Justin Bieber. That's dumb.
But, yeah. The developer is RC3. So if you guys want to support a good guy, it looks like you're going to look for developer RC3. Next up, let's see. We've got an indie studio called Cypher Prime. They were basically talking with people about how expensive it is to run a game studio. People didn't really seem to get the picture, so they made a pie chart and have gone public with it. It shows how it costs about $15,000 a month to run a small game development studio. The bulk of it, of course, goes to paying the employees, but there are also things like rent, professional fees like insurance, lawyers, accountants, utilities, web servers, food. They buy food to keep in the office so that people don't have to go out. Keeps them there, keeps them working, things like that. Services, base camp promoter, things like that.
Massages.
Advertising, I'm sure, goes in there. So, so basically, $15,000 a month just to keep it going. And they say even, they pay everything, all their utilities, whatnot. They get about $10,000 left. And you say, wow, $10,000, that seems like a lot of money. But you break that down, it's about $2,500 a week. That's about $625 a person, which means each person after taxes is making about $12. Which, I mean, $12, that's not terrible.
It's good for working on games.
Yeah, but I mean, they're obviously not rolling in the dough. So when you think about $15,000 a month, that's where it's going. So pretty expensive.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
You don't think so?
Maybe. Probably. They should know a guy that knows a guy, and maybe they cut some of those finances down a little bit. Or they should just steal food. That's a good one, too.
They also note that they have actually 11,000 series to pay their employees, but they have to pay $1,000 in employee payroll taxes. And then that they would be paying their employees about $15.63 an hour, but because they have to pay taxes on their income, it makes their income about $12 an hour. So there you go. Taxes, taxes, taxes.
What you talking about?
Next up, Pac-Man's Adventure Begins is a new animated series coming to TV next year. They announced Namco Bandai that's saying there's a new 3D animated series. Did you ever watch the original? The original 2D animated show?
And actually, when I was in New York for Toy Fair, they actually showed us a preview for it.
Oh, for this one?
For this anime, yeah.
Well, this one they're calling Pac-Man The Adventure Begins, and it's supposed to tell the origin of Pac-Man, ongoing series. It'll be on Disney XD in the fall of 2013, so it's over a year away.
Also, they told us that it would feature cameos of our very popular video game icons into the series.
Right. And also, the other news is that it's being produced by Avi Arad. I'm not sure how you pronounce his name. Avi Arad?
Yep.
But anyway, he's a former Marvel executive, and he was one of the guys who was best known for taking the Marvel properties and turning them into TV shows and movies. And apparently now he's probably working for Disney XD. And his role in Disney XD is to go out and find properties that he can bring in and develop into shows. So right now it appears he's on a video game kick. You may see more video game titles coming to Disney XD in the future. So hopefully they can make a cartoon out of some of those great video games like Pokemon or Ben 10.
Well, Disney owns everything anyways, by now.
Next up, the Amazing Spider-Man game, based on the new movie that will be coming out, officially announced that Stan Lee will be a playable character in the game. Now, it's unknown at this point if this is just going to be some sort of like costume swap, or if there's actually part of the storyline where he goes into an alternate universe to meet Stan Lee, or Stan Lee is a character in the movie. They haven't really said exactly how it fits, but Stan Lee, playable character in the Amazing
Why would
Spider-Man.
anybody want to play a feeble old man, a feeble old sellout of a man like Stan Lee?
Did you just call him a sellout?
Yep.
What? What are you talking about,
That
sellout?
man will license you anything. Of course he's on there, man. They said, hey, I got $50. You want to be in a game? Done. Before they even finish the sentence, done.
No word yet, though, on whether or not Stripperella will be making an appearance in the game.
And I will say this, Stan Lee is getting really old, so if you want a chance to play his likeness, this will probably be the only chance. I'm pretty sure he's about to die.
Well, you know, we've had a couple in the last few days, so...
He's getting up there.
Davy Jones, Breitbart, now maybe Stan Lee.
Get his autograph if you can, boys. It's going to go insanely high soon.
All right, Assassin's Creed. You like Assassin's Creed, don't you?
I played the first one once.
Okay.
So, yes.
Well, Assassin's Creed 3 officially gets box art, and it confirms that it is set in the United States during the Revolutionary War period. It will feature, of course, the British Redcoats, the rebel army of the United States, and Native Americans with tomahawks.
Ooh.
So you're going to get tomahawks and flintlock pistols.
That's interesting.
So that one might be actually kind of fun to play. Just have to see how that one plays out. All right. Kid Icarus Uprising is coming to the 3DS, and one of the things that will be packed with is a small pack of augmented reality cards. Now, these are cards, if you're not familiar with the 3DS, that you lay down on the table, and then you use the built-in camera to look at them, and it puts a three-dimensional object in 3D space, and you can move around it, see it from the front and the back, and interact it in certain ways. Well, now they're saying there will be 6 AR cards packed into every copy of Kid Icarus. But they said that there will be hundreds of AR cards available. Meaning, you're going to get 6 cards out of maybe 150. And Nintendo is trying to set up certain types of card swap conventions, trying to get special giveaways at certain retailers, and probably at some point down the line you will be able to just go in and buy packs from Nintendo.com.
Whatever, dude, man. Sell out.
One of the neat things about the
Stanley.
cards, though, is that you can take a hero card and a villain card and put them up side by side, front to front against each other, and they will battle in the augmented reality. So you can, make little fun battles with your friends, and maybe they'll bring over their card, and you take your card, and you put them up and see who wins. And
So expect to find Kid Icarus on eBay really cheap because everybody's going to buy them for the cards and not really...
and throw away the extra copies of the game.
Right.
Right. Not only that, but we've seen how collectible Skylanders has gotten.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to see some of these cards probably go very expensive very quickly. Question is how long they will stay that expensive, we don't know.
I just don't see this one. I mean, at least with the Skylanders, you got a collectible figure. Now you just get a card that it's only cool if you stick a 3DS camera.
I mean, there are two things to keep in mind. One, Skylanders was multi-platform, so you could play it on the PS3, the Xbox, the PC, the Wii, the 3DS. But two, this is coming from Nintendo, and they do have a little property called Pokemon, which was a craze, and then wasn't a craze, and then was a craze, and then wasn't a craze. And then was a craze, and then wasn't a craze.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, 20 years on, they're still doing the games, the
What's
cartoon
it called?
show.
Poke what?
Pocket Monsters.
Oh,
that's what it's
weird.
called, Pocket Monsters.
Never heard of it.
So, never?
Never. Never heard of it.
Wow. You know what? Pokemon's never heard of it.
Just like I never played a Pac-Man before.
Never played Pac-Man?
Never heard of Pac-Man until the other day.
That's crazy. All right. It's a new month, which means there are new rewards in the Club Nintendo. If you've been using the points to get the coins, putting in the codes on the website, they have new games available. You can download Art Style Cubello for the Wii, or you can get some Game Boy games, Mario's Picross and Radar Mission on the 3DS eShop.
Ooh, Radar Mission.
Actually, I was thinking, Mario's Picross, because I love that game. I had that game, I had the 3D version, I had the DS version, every version of Picross that has come out I've been a big fan of. So
yeah, super fun.
I like it. It's a good puzzle game. I like thinking games. You like the games with the boobies.
I have to think about it. That's not a game. Whatever.
All right, back to the PlayStation Vita. Sony has said that on March 9th, they are going to have a Vita revealing party. And people said, hey, the Vita's already been revealed. What are you going to do? Obviously, they are going to be streaming online, showing off new games and new peripherals and concepts for the PlayStation Vita. Hey, Nasty Will likes his.
You know what? I don't care. Now they're trying to hype it up like, hey, all you guys who bought one, well, stay tuned, because now we're going to tell you what else we want to sell you for your hard-earned money at crazy prices that may or may not work out. Kind of like our UMGs. So
now this will be streaming online. This is called the Welcome PlayStation Vita Game Heaven. This will be March 9th, but unfortunately, this is being done Japanese Standard Time, 8 p.m., which means it'll be 6 a.m. Eastern, which means 5 a.m. here. Which means there are going to be a bunch of pissed off game journalists in California, in San Francisco, getting up at 3 in the morning so they can watch this press conference.
Or not having gone to bed yet. So it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Just see how it goes.
It'll be good for me. 3, that'd be perfect.
But they're doing this, they're doing it apparently because it's coming in between the Game Developers Conference and the South by Southwest Interactive Conference. So they think it's a good time, a whole bunch of game news, they can just get caught up in the frenzy, and then hopefully there'll be a lot of conversations because of nerds coming together to talk about all the neat stuff that Vita can do. All the neat stuff that Vita can do. All the new games. New games. New games.
Whatever.
Apparently, one other thing, too, it has come out that with the PlayStation Vita, when you put it in the system, it puts a code on your system, it embeds it into the card, so it keeps track of your trophies. So if you trade the game in used, or trade it to a friend, and they put it in their system, suddenly it will say, sorry, but you cannot track trophies on this system. This has already been registered to someone's Vita. Now, apparently, they say there is some sort of workaround hack where you can kind of go into the data of the card one way or another and delete the information, and then you're able to register it as a new game. There's no word yet on Sony having some sort of workaround and locking this out completely, but apparently it was something that Sony had intended to discourage the ability to trade the games. So you will not be able to get trophies if you care about trophies by getting used games.
What a bunch of jerks.
Now, I know, it kind of seems really cheap, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's really petty. And for
and especially for trophies. Like, I don't care about trophies.
Yeah, it's not like you can trade your trophies in and get an actual trophy, or better yet, trade your trophy points in and get, like, I don't know, a free game. No one cares about your trophies.
There are a lot of 13-year-old boys that care a lot about trophies.
Nobody cares about trophies. The first time I got 360 and I was playing it and I got the achievement points, I thought those were the points I could use to download stuff online.
You got real excited?
Yeah, because I was like, man, I got a couple thousand of them. I'm going to be, racking in some free games or some gear. And it's like, oh, no, those are just random points for no reason. I'm like, well, why do I care?
Well, it's a bragging rights.
Who's bragging?
Well, like I said, they're a bunch of 13-year-old boys who think it's really important. And some probably old Japanese men. But yeah, it doesn't.
I don't appreciate it.
I can understand they don't want to give you free game downloads, but at least let me unlock like wallpapers or themes.
Yeah, I mean they do that sometimes. Like some games you play, you'll be able to unlock certain things like that, themes and wallpapers. But I want those points to mean something where it unlocks maybe a downloadable content. How about that?
Right. Yeah, it just seems kind of pointless. But as much as I don't care about the idea, just the simple fact that I can't do it because I bought a used game. Or traded a game with somebody. I mean, that's uncalled for, unconscionable, unbelievable.
That's against the Constitution.
I don't remember which was that in the Good and Plenty Clause or where was that?
The Constitution of Gaming of America.
Oh, the Constitution of Gaming of America
of the world.
Well, see, that's it. Sony's a Japanese company. They're not part of the Constitution of Gaming.
It's Constitution of Gaming of America of the world.
Oh, I see.
We just had to go first.
Now it makes sense.
Sorry, everybody else. We just had to go first. Sorry.
Well, I mean, why wouldn't we?
It's what we do.
Exactly. All right. Finally, last piece of news here. We talked about Battlefield 3 Aftershock on the iOS, on the iPod and iPhone, having been pulled after being poorly rated. Apparently, very bad game, lots of issues. Well, EA had pulled the game and said it would return at some point in the future. They were going to try to iron out the bugs and whatnot. Well, now they've said it is not coming back at all. They've said that there's just no way that they can find to make the game fixable, playable, and or fun. So therefore, they are never going to return it to the App Store. People who have downloaded it can play it until the end of March, till the 31st. And then they will be shutting down the servers, deleting it, and pretending like it never happened.
Wow.
So I'm not sure if that's really a knock against EA and their mobile gaming division, or if that's a knock against putting games on the iPad and the iPhone that are really trying to be
Well, if they don't work, what is there a couple people actually trying to play right now just to be like, I like this game that kind of works right?
Well, it's one of those things, though, if that's the one game you've downloaded, because I think, didn't they pay money for it? That wasn't free, I don't think.
Yeah, so do you get a refund because your game sucks and you're shutting me down?
No, they're probably just like, sucks to be you.
Whatever.
I'm trying to see if I can find it.
Man.
Because I'm pretty sure there was a price on it. But
how come there's never like major company decides to give out free games for a week? How come we don't have those stories? It's always like major company wants to take more money from you this week. Come on, man.
Major game company decides that from now on, every game they release will be a free download. Woo!
I want a physical copy. They'll just mail me a copy. Just mail you a physical full copy, collector's edition.
But you do have to pay shipping.
No,
and
not even shipping.
And it's handled by Digital River.
And they give you a ham sandwich with every.
A ham sandwich.
That's right.
Wait, does it have mayo and relish?
Ham sandwich. Good guys, man. Good guys.
Maybe RC3, huh? If the whole Justin Bieber thing doesn't work out, ham sandwich and game downloads.
Ham sandwich and Justin Bieber. Sounds good to me.
That's how you're going to make it happen. All right, now, instead of going to commercial, we're going to go right into the game releases. I know, it's crazy, but we're trying things differently today. So, you've got your...
More importantly, I didn't have time to catalog every game and talk about it independently. So what I'm going to do is just going to run down the list as I have it, and we'll talk about them briefly and I'm not going to give you any more information. Otherwise, this is the stuff coming out for the first week of March. Of Dimes.
We'll do what? Wait, what?
For the March of Dimes.
All right, go ahead.
Let's see. For the 3DS coming up first, we have In! Exclamation point. Fun! Exclamation point. Mini Golf Touch! Exclamation point.
Woo! That does sound like fun.
It sounds exciting. The title's blowing it off. So there you go. You're going to get a touch golf game, mini putt-putt golf game.
Wait, is it putt-putt golf or real golf?
It's mini golf, so that's mini golf's like putt-putt, right?
Yeah, it is putt-putt.
So that's
no, it just means you play it with tiny people.
And the title is touch. So I'm thinking you probably have to touch it.
Probably touch screen. Or wait, or does it touch you?
Ooh.
I mean, if it's a golf game that's going to touch me.
It is interactive. Yes.
Yeah. Ooh, I might have to play that one.
Up for the 360, we have I Am Alive. No idea what that is.
Really?
No idea. Do you know?
Yeah.
What is it?
It's like a survival.
It's a survival
action
game.
I want to say survival horror, but it's not. I don't think it's really horror.
Well,
it's just
I Am Alive. It's could be. Up for the DDS, we have two titles with nearly the same names. So I'm really confused. We have Nabarro's World, Labyrinth of Light, and then we have Nabarro's World, The Mysterious Palace. Both coming out.
I bet those are PC games that have been ported over.
They're DS games, though. Those are for the DS. Up next, from every possible platform imaginable, we have Major League Baseball 2K12 for all you nuts out there.
Wait, is that on PC?
It is on PS2, PSP, DS, 360, PS3, the Wii, and the PC.
But not the Vita?
Not yet.
Oh.
Stay tuned why. Up next for the Vita, we do have the Lego Harry Potter's years 5 through 7.
Which I've been waiting for those years.
On the Vita.
I wanted to know what happened.
Order Up on the PS3 is now hitting the
Order Up
online store. We talked about that game a couple weeks ago. It's now available on the PS3. Next up, we have The Sims 3 plus Showtime, another expansion.
Wait, plus Showtime?
How? Yeah, it's a bundle.
Like the channel? Like you can watch Game of Thrones?
It's Sim 3. It's like a rebundling of the main game.
Oh.
Showtime expansion with the main game. So now you're getting if you want to jump into The Sims 3, here's a cheaper bundle.
All right.
For the 3DS, we have NCIS 3D.
Ooh. So, Mark Harmon in 3D.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can take that.
Solve some
murders.
Murders or whatever. For the 360 and PS3, we have Me Coach. M-I Coach. It's one of those coach games that I guess was popular on the DS title. Like they had Learn Spanish Coach.
Oh, okay.
And stuff like that. I'm not sure what the M-I is for. I don't know. Me Coach. Maybe it's a Me Coach.
Good.
So,
no, it's just a guy going, faster, run faster, take a lap.
And up for the 360, as we discussed before, you did a news story that MLB 2K12 and NBA 2K12 will be released as a single bundled title.
All right, I remember that now.
So that's coming out. Next, for the 360, we have Blades of Time. It is an action game. Figure it out.
It's a cutty clock.
For the Vita, we have Unit 13 coming out.
That's a big unit.
Unit 13.
Actually, that's the game from the SOCOM developers, if I remember correctly. Yep. That's supposed to be really good.
Yep.
That's what Nasty Will. You need to play that game. Let me know how it is.
It's on the Vita, so there you go. For the PS3 and the Vita, we have MLB 12, The Show.
Good.
So that's the other major sports title.
That's the crossover one that you're going to be able to download and play in between the two.
And another major release coming out is Mass Effect 3 on the PC, the 360, and the PS3. For all you Mass Effect freaks out there, here it is, finally, the third installment. 2
or 3 people, I think, like that game. I don't know.
Also, for the PS3 and the 360, we have Street Fighter X Tekken.
Yes.
So there's a crossover title for all you guys who want to beat on some Tekken people.
It's supposed to be really good.
Well, they're always usually good. Oh. I mean, it's no Capcom versus Marvel, but... up next, we have, for the PC, Ridge Racer Unbounded.
Ooh.
So now, finally, your PC can get a taste.
Wait, on the PC?
Yeah, on the PC.
Ridge Racer on the PC? What?
That's right.
That seems kind of crazy.
If your system can handle the graphics, then you'll be playing.
Is that on Steam?
And also, Blades of Time was also being releasing on the PS3 also. Not just 360, PS3 and 360. And then we have Crush 3D. That's on the 3DS.
Makes sense.
It is an action game. Also, the Sims 3 Showtime expansion itself is releasing, as an independent title and as a bundle, as I said.
It might have been nice to have those two listed together.
Yeah, I didn't have them together, but whatever. And then finally, the last major title coming out is Top Gun Hard Lock. Lock. L-O-C-K.
On what?
On the 360, PS3, and PC.
Wow.
Yeah, another.
It's about time for another Top Gun.
Another Top Gun game being released, and this time it's called Hard Lock.
Right.
Like hard on, but lock.
Wait, what? I don't think that's what it
Hard
means.
Luck, yes.
I don't think that's what it means.
That's what it means. No,
I don't think so. I think that's a different show.
This is March, man. This is for all you Irish people out there.
All right.
Hard Lock.
Welcome to the Porn Culture Network.
Hard Lock.
PCN. All right, guys. We're going to take a commercial break. When we come back, it'll be time for the Fan Corner, answering some of your questions and comments and discussion and, making fun of you. Maybe. Or you making fun of us, I guess. It can go both ways.
We'll do that.
It cuts either way.
Whatever.
We'll be right back. Hey guys, Dirt here. Don't forget to check out the News Desk every Saturday on the Pop Culture Network. We're going to be talking about this week's releases of toys. If you want to know all the toy news of everything that's going on, that's ever been worthwhile, that's ever worth a penny of your hard-earned money, you're going to check out the News Desk, popculturenetwork.com. Every Saturday, make sure you check it out.
Alright guys, thank you for watching our videos on the Pop Culture Network. We do hope that you will help support us by visiting shoppcn.com, where you'll find all these amazing toys, comic books, DVDs, video games, random geek goodness, all brought to you at an incredibly great price. Every dollar you spend helps contribute to the Pop Culture Network.
And we're back!
In your face.
Yeah, you can't see me because I'm invisible. All right, now it's time for the Fan Corner, and I actually need to open with a correction and an apology.
Go ahead, do it.
Last week, Chaotix12345 asked us about games that got mediocre ratings that we absolutely love. And there was a game I really should have mentioned in that segment. As soon as we went off the air, I thought about it. It's been stuck in my head all week. And I felt the need to actually clear the air here.
What is it?
So, the game that I should have mentioned that got bad ratings, but is just a fantastic game on so many levels, is Fugitive Hunter on the PS2. Did you ever play Fugitive Hunter?
No.
Let me tell you, here's what happens in Fugitive Hunter. You parachute out of an airplane into the desert.
Okay.
You have a rifle.
All right.
A bunch of terrorists come running at you. You shoot them. You throw grenades at them. You shoot rockets at them. You shoot them. If you get close enough, you can stab them or slit their throat.
Yeah.
And you fight your way into the caves, in the mountains, in the desert, until you come face to face with Osama bin Laden. And at that point, you throw down your gun, you go hand-to-hand combat, and you get a side view punching, kicking game until you beat the crap out of Osama bin Laden. You throw him on the ground, you tie his hands behind his back, and you take him off to get his day in court.
Really?
Yes.
So it goes from a shooting game to like a Mortal Kombat?
Yes.
Like, wow.
Yes, exactly. See what I'm saying?
I had no idea.
Now, the only problem is you get to about the third level and the game is too buggy and it breaks down and you try to jump from building to building, you fall down, it locks up, and you can't play it anymore, you have to turn off the system. But, until that point though...
Wait, it's just one level?
That's the first level of the game.
Oh, so...
And then the rest of there's like more terrorists and random people they made up that you track down through different environments.
But you get to deal with Osama
But the
bin
opening level is you taking on Osama bin Laden, going man-to-man, punching the crap out of him.
Okay, so to recap, all we had to do was throw a guy in the desert with a rifle. He would kill about 100 terrorists, go up to Osama bin Laden, throw down his gear, and start like 1920s, we'll give you a cauliflower ear, battling him up, and then bust him in the face, hog tie him, and then roll out, and then who picks him up?
I think the helicopter comes back.
They come back.
Jump out.
Okay, and that's all we had to do.
They didn't need a SEAL Team 6. They needed...
We didn't have to go assassinate him.
SEAL Guy 1. That's what they needed. SEAL Guy 1.
McDirt.
So anyway, that is one of those games that if you find it used, it ranges anywhere from $2.95 to $4.95. Although you probably have $7.95 if you had it, but at respectable prices.
After hearing about it, yeah, I'm definitely gonna raise the price on that.
But that's definitely a game that is worth paying the $5 or less to pick up and at least play that first level 6 or 7 times in a row.
Wow, I I don't know.
Yeah.
Play it. Tell me what you think.
But that is the game I should have mentioned. It's been stuck in my head all week. I've had visions of fisticuffs with Osama bin Laden ever since then. So, all right. Now, back onto the actual fan corner thread, the new questions for this week. First up, from Orko. By the way, he says he was honored for the win and thanks us for the prize from a couple weeks ago when he won the question contest. But he says, question one, he felt that some people, namely Killen, did not take his question seriously. If remaking a Super Smash Bros. Game, who would you remove or add with the limits he lists? What characters would you remove from the roster? Which characters would you add from the Nintendo company? Which characters from other companies would you add into it, and why do they deserve a spot? Here's going to be my answer to this. And I know, you said he didn't take it seriously, but here's the real honest answer. I've played maybe 5 minutes of Super Smash Bros. Enough to say that this is not a game I like, not a game I'm into, and not a game I'm going to spend any time on. I bought the GameCube version when it came out. That was my introduction to the series. I paid $39.95, $49.95 the week it came out. Went, picked it up, brought it home, played it for 5 minutes. Not my style of game, and sold it to somebody else for like 20 bucks. So, when you say, which characters would I take off the roster? Kirby. I don't know. I didn't play it that much. Who would I add to the roster from the Nintendo company? Toad. Is he in it? No? Fine. He should be in it. Who else would I add, and why should they be in there? Solid Snake. He was in the Twin Snakes on the GameCube, so therefore you can use him. He should be in there because he's better than anything that has to do with Super Smash Brothers. I'm just not a fan of the game. Wow. You like it? Great. Play it. Not for me. So I can't, we can't answer that question. I don't think you're not a big fan of it either.
I played it, with my siblings, but I never actually got into it that much. So, I mean, I got a general idea who's in the game itself, but who would I replace him with? I don't know.
I don't like the mechanics.
I don't have a good answer for that question.
The idea that you're just kind of randomly bumping into each other until you knock them off a platform and they don't fly back on magically is not a fighting system that works for me. So, sorry, but I mean that's the answer we can give you because quite honestly, it's Super Smash Brothers. It doesn't work for me. Not a fan. But, second up, second part of his question, he says, I'll keep it short with one last question. When do you guys, or I think he means where do you guys go when you need strategy guides for really obscure games? I'm super stuck in my Inuyasha DS game and I need to know where to go. You can, if you have an account at IGN, they do a lot of strategy guides there with a lot of pictures that are easy to follow, but most of them I think are hidden behind the paywall, and there's no idea. I don't know if they do a lot of DS games. I know they do a lot of the big releases, but again, you have to pay for the membership in order to get in there. Most people, I think, just go to GameFAQs. Yeah. GameFAQs.com. That seems to be the number one place.
There's a lot of strategy guides there you can download, and people have handwritten out the walkthroughs for most of these titles. Pretty much anytime I'm stuck in a game, that is going to be the number one place I go, and I almost always find the answer. If you're looking for like physical copy strategy guides, I mean obviously eBay, half.com, Amazon.com, those are going to be the places to buy those things. But and I gotta say this, I much rather have a hand strategy guide versus reading the text ones because they just don't do them justice. Although I gotta say the ones that people write out themselves make a lot more sense than the guides that you buy off the store, because whoever wrote those is an idiot and doesn't know what they're talking about. Because you'll be reading them like you just had to feel like you knew you had to put something in that little box, so you just wrote a descriptive, instead of saying, describing exactly what you're seeing it as a gamer would. It's like some author wrote a descriptive phrase right here that was totally unnecessary. So I'd like to see them blend the pictures in with somebody who actually knows what they're talking about, or somebody who's writing these guides as a gamer, maybe include some pictures into those text guides and make it a little easier. But
yeah, and also one other thing about GameFAQs.com is that they do have a forum, and they do a pretty good job where you the game that you're looking for, you go to, and they have a section for the game. You can find screens, you can find reviews, you can read the facts, the walkthroughs, and the forum all in one spot. So if you've got a particular question and you look through the walkthrough but you don't really see the answer, then you can go to the forums, ask a question, and you'll usually get an answer. Sometimes it's a little snarky, but you can usually get an answer pretty quick on there. So GameFAQs is, I don't know, I've been going there since 98, 99. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's been up forever. So that's probably the number one place.
But I don't go to IGN or those other places because they're super confusing and they try to hit you with ads everywhere. So
and for a brief time, I did subscribe to IGN. It was right around the time when they first started doing like their paid content, and they had a lot of screensavers and wallpapers and things like that were kind of fun to download. But then after a while, I'm just kind of like, it's IGN, you know? It's like, it's just not worth it. Now it's pretty much you pay for HD content. You know, you can watch it normal, but if you pay the extra, you can watch it in HD. Yeah. Woo!
Yeah.
So, but some of the guides, they do keep behind that paywall for a while. I don't know if the older ones, they push back in, you know, instead of making them free forever, or what the deal is. But those are two options that you have. Also, option number 3, ask.com. Just ask Jeeves. He'll tell you.
I couldn't imagine that you don't get any results by going to ask.com.
You don't think so?
No, but I would love to see what comes up, but I'm pretty sure they're going to, like, you're going to get infected. I guarantee you. You're going to go to some website that's going to upload some virus to you and you're done. Thanks, Jeeves.
Bloom bloom. Siri, how do I find the Master of Level 5 in Inuyasha on the DS? Cling, cling. There are 6 game stores a mile of your vicinity. Here is a map. Yeah, that's what you'll get from me.
Yeah,
so
it don't work.
All right. Jane, she asked a question here. Dirt, I was wondering what DS games you would recommend to an 8 to 9-year-old boy. I have a nephew who plays the DS, especially the Mario games, but I want to get him some other platformers. Well, if you want to get him platformers, I'd say Sonic. There are a couple Sonic games on the DS that are pretty good. You know, they're safe for little kids. You don't have to worry about anything in them. And Sonic, I think, is usually a fun enough character that you don't really have to worry about a whole lot. But try something other than platform games. If he's 8 to 9 years old, I'd say Beyblade, Bakugan, and Pokemon are probably going to be your big hit winners there. If they've got the 3DS, then tell them it'll ruin their eyes. Take it away from them. Get them a regular DS and keep it for yourself. But yeah, if you're looking at the DS, I mean, Beyblade, Bakugan, Pokemon, those are the big money games that are not platformers. But specifically, if you want platformers, and he usually just plays Mario, then go Sonic. See if maybe you can start a Mario versus Sonic feud in his own head, and then he can relive 1993 all over again.
Or you can just get Mario and Sonic at the Olympics. Sports titles. And
But no, I think she wants games that are fun.
Oh, well.
You know,
those are some
good
some
ones.
people.
Fun to some people.
And maybe that some people is your nephew.
Or maybe you just don't like him that much.
Ooh.
You know, and then you can get him Splinter Cell on the DS. If you really dislike him.
Or Modern Warfare 2. Because that's awesome to play on a DS.
The graphics are just unbelievable on that one. Alrighty then. Next up, Yoda Soup. He asked, just wondering if there's an older game that you would love to own, but are having a hard time finding it, driving you to the edge of insanity. You know, it's funny because I just spent this last, I don't know, sometime started about 6 months ago, I started buying up all the old Tron games on the Atari and Intellivision, and, you know, getting those together. So if you had asked me a few months ago, there may have been a couple of those. But actually the one game, we've been talking about Double Fine Adventure and how they're getting like millions of dollars on Kickstarter. Mm-hmm. They did a game called Grim Fandango, which was one of their point-and-click adventure games, but when they started getting to 3D and everything. And you play, like, if you imagine, like in Mexico, the Day of the Dead celebration, how they have everything with like all the little skeletons and whatever, like that's what this universe is. And this guy is like this hard-boiled detective who lives in this universe where everyone is the skeletons and the monsters from the Mexican Day of the Dead. And
is that where they're from? Or you?
Yeah, seriously. I mean, that's what it's supposed to be. And so it's got this, and everybody's got like Mexican accents and everything like that. Everyone's named Manuel, you know, and things like that.
That's racist.
And And so that is a game. Well, but then they go to the docks, and the bee men who work on the docks are French. They'll have French accents, because I guess dirty Frenchmen work on the docks. But
yeah, this is why you like this game, I guess.
But it's just one of those quirky, crazy type games, and it's one of those games that like it's always going to have a special spot for me. You know, it's just one of those. It's a really well done story, really fun, really engaging, and runs like piss water on a modern computer. Almost impossible to try to get working. I'd like to find a copy that I can actually get to work decently on a modern PC. Or find me a 486 that I could play this game on. But I'd love to have a copy of the game like in the box with the manual, the nice artwork, all that extra stuff. Grim Fandango. How about you?
I don't know. There's so many indie PC games that I have forgotten about that I want to find and play, that I'm like, man, I wish I would have had that game still, because I wanted to play it again, and I only played it casually at one time, and so they're gone forever. Any other title that I can think of that I'd want to play right now? I don't know. I'd like to go. I would like to get the Suikoden 1 and 2 again for the PlayStation 1. It was a role-playing game that had 108 playable characters. Mm-hmm. And those games were one of my best RPGs that I love to play the most. So I'd like to get a copy of Part 1 and Part 2. I did see that the Japanese did release a PSP version that included Part 1 and Part 2 on the same cartridge, but it never came to the U.S. So I'm like, please port that over, because those are crazy expensive games. I think Suikoden 2 is worth about $130. Part 1 I think is about $50, maybe more. So those are the two games that I would like to re-own so I can play them again, because they're awesome.
Are there any games that you played that you don't remember what they were called, but you can kind of vaguely recall like what the gameplay was that you'd like to play again?
Yes, there is one. And this is going to sound like extremely racist, but please bear with me.
Uh-oh.
When I was in...
we'll call the lawyer real quick.
When I was in, I would say the 5th and 6th grade area, maybe 7th, there was a game that I cannot figure... For the life of me, cannot figure out the title of it. But you were a slave. And it was a text-based adventure game. Okay? And there was a little bit of graphics, but it was like, early Apple graphics. And basically you were a slave, and your aunt gave you X amount of dollars and some supplies, and you're trying to escape to the north. So, and the whole time you're moving, you're getting chased by the slave catchers.
Yeah.
And
I think I played this.
But it's a text-based game, basically. And, I mean, there were small, minor graphics, but it's mostly text. And you had to make decisions at every stop. And depending on how you did that, would determine what the outcome, was, and how long it took before you were captured or killed, or whatever. And you would find people that would give you extra money or give you food along the way. So it's kind of like an early RPG.
Freedom on the Apple II.
There it is.
Freedom, educational computer game developed by MECC. The player assumed the role of a runaway slave in the antebellum period of American history, trying to reach the North through the Underground Railroad. Some educators found it valuable, while others found it racially offensive.
I thought the game was awesome. I tried to play it a million times and could never get anywhere. I got my ass handed to me over and over on that game. That game's hard. Or it was when I was younger. Now, maybe that I know a little more, I could probably play it and maybe conquer it.
Most people, apparently they were trying to use it as a tool to teach you what it would have been like, what you would have had to go through to try to escape, to make you think about...
My school had that.
How terrible it would be to be in this situation and try to make it just to some place where you can be free. But some people found it offensive because of some of the terms and things that they used in it, so...
Oh, it was completely offensive.
Completely offensive?
I mean, at the time, back in the day, I guess it wasn't a big deal, but now people would be like, this obviously isn't coming to the PS3 anytime soon.
Well, it's like, Song of the South from Disney. Everybody says it's racially offensive because, this guy's a slave, but he's singing happy songs, on the plantation. Everybody's getting along fine. But, it's just one of those things where it's like, it's not offensive It's not trying to be offensive. It's just Disney, so everybody's happy.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like Gone with the Wind is a classic of all time, and she's slapping them across the face because she doesn't like their answers. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know. Some of those things get a little weird, like how you argue one way or the other on them. That's a topic for another day. Maybe we'll have racist game day.
Freedom on the PC.
But freedom on the PC.
Apple.
Well, now you know.
Well,
so now you got to find a copy.
Is it just on the Apple?
Apple II.
Oh, God. I'll never be able to play that again.
Anybody got an Apple IIe sitting around that you can send us? Maybe we can.
Can a copy of that game so I could play it again?
It's a big floppy disk.
Or maybe they ported it over to the PC and I can download it somewhere. I don't know.
And there might be an Apple emulator you can download.
I don't even want that on my computer.
Play it on there.
Next thing you know, I'll be trying to install iTunes and QuickTime, and I don't want that.
You know, I had some game. It was on the Commodore 64, and it was actually a UK developed game that I used to go to this place. It was like Illini Computing, I think it was, and they always had like Amiga and Atari ST computers and Commodore computers, and they had the magazines from England. You know how they always have the big oversized computer magazines, and they had an audio cassette taped on the front, but it wasn't audio on the cassette because the Commodore 64 had a tape drive, and so this magazine came with a game on the tape, and you would put the tape in the drive and hit play, and then load it, you know, through the Commodore 64, and it was a game based on Aliens, the movie, the second movie in the Alien franchise, and it was a like first person point of view game. And so it's one of those things where like you're in the ship and you see the corridor, and so you can walk down and you'll start to hear a beep if the aliens are getting close, and you turn for the door and you press the button, it'll open and you can go into the next room. And it's one of those where, you know, you don't like walk down the hallway. It's like you're in this section of the hallway, so you press the button and it loads this section of the hallway.
Right.
You know, and then you turn, so it loads, you know, loads it the other way. Very simple, very basic, but I found that to be a lot of fun. And maybe part of the fun was because it was on an audio cassette, and I could load it on the computer, and I was like, oh my gosh, what's next, Games on Records? But, you know, it was a lot of fun, and I spent a lot of time playing that game, and that's one of those games I'd like to play again.
Man, how far we have come. Because, and I can imagine you playing and go, oh my God, this is amazing.
This blows me away. It's like I'm right there in the middle of the game. You know, and now look at the things we take for granted. Mm-hmm. You know, in gaming, it's like you go back and play like a PlayStation 1 first-person shooter, and you're like, oh my gosh, it's like 5 feet out from me, it's fog. You know, this is terrible.
I remember the first time I heard sound on the game, and I was like, oh my God, it spoke to me.
It's got music. Blowing me away. Alright, Nasty Will. Nasty Will, our Vita friend, says, hey guys, I've been playing my Vita, and I have to tell you, this is the first time I played a portable system that feels like I am playing a console system.
Oh, don't you lie to us.
It has a great screen, and the graphics look almost like PS3 graphics. I got Hot Shots Golf, Uncharted, Ninja Gaiden, and Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
Don't you lie to us, Will. How much did they give you?
Actually, I remember the Game Boy Advance when that came out, and that to me, like, because it was the Super Nintendo in a handheld, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is, you know, exactly a Super Nintendo. You know, and I had messed around with stuff like the Nomad, you know, that could play the actual Genesis games, but that was a big, bulky thing. And here's this, you know, streamlined, small, you know, little device that could play Super Nintendo games, like right in your hand, tiny and small. It blew me away, that system. I remember being, like, my wife and I were sitting in, like, Kmart in 2002 or 2001, when it came out, and we had money from like a tax return or something. It was just like, I think I'm going to buy one of these. This thing's incredible. You know, and she's like, well, it's your money, go ahead. So I did it. I bought it, paid full retail price for that thing when it came out, and I played the heck out of that system.
Wow.
I loved it. I used to go to work because it was so small you could put it in your pocket, and you'd be like, oh, I need to go use the bathroom, and then I'd go sit in the bathroom for a half hour and play the Game Boy Advance, then come out and they were like, are you alright? And I'm like, man, I'm dehydrated. I need some water or something to drink, man. I don't know, you got a Gatorade or something? Because, whew!
Toilet player.
Yeah, that's me.
Sitting on a toilet.
You got to work, and here's the thing, no one wants to go in to check. You know what I mean? They're like, oh man, is he in the bathroom? Yeah, we'll just have to assume he is. You know, no one wants to be the one to poke their head in there and make sure you're okay. You know
you in there, or are you just playing Game Boy Advance?
Bloop. What? I don't know what you mean. Bloop. Boy. So anyway. But you never got into handhelds.
No. I tried. I can't do it. And I guess it's just because I get spoiled from playing on the big screen, and then you got playing on a portable, and then it's always a weird, the layout is kind of awkward to me, and it's small, and it just looks... I mean, the Game Boy Advance was a solid system, so I give it props for that, and it looks nice. It's just...
and the PSP...
can't do handhelds. I don't know.
The PSP I used a lot for stuff besides gaming as well. Like, it was my MP3 player for a long time. I used to... Lost. I didn't start watching Lost until halfway through the second season when everyone's like, you gotta watch this show! So I actually would download those onto the PSP and just watch them on the PSP when I was on the bus going to work or on the bus coming home from work or, whatever type of stuff like that. So I used it for a lot of other stuff besides gaming, but then I was like, oh, look, I can also play games on it. So that was like a bonus feature of the PSP was that it could play games. But I think that the DS, for me, has made a difference on the 3DS because there is a bonus interaction to it that you can't get. I can't sit there and play 3D games on my console, but I can get, Solid Snake. Metal Gear 3 Solid Snake 3D is fantastic. Like, playing that game in 3D on that system is just, it's unbelievable how good it looks and how well it works. And so, I'm just kind of blown away by, because I mean, that was a big, PS2 game when it came out, and it on the 3DS, it's virtually indistinguishable graphics-wise from the PlayStation 2, so it's at least doing that good, if not better, plus it's 3D, which means it's dual rendering that. So I'm kind of wondering, like, how well they're going to be able to push things in the future on that system.
Whatever. Whatever.
It sure beats playing a game on the iPhone, I can tell you that much.
Well, first of all, how dare you touch an iPhone? But secondly, games on the phone suck.
Unless I think they're specially made for being on a phone screen.
Yeah, I
guess
like
Cartoon Wars or something like that is okay.
Birds is perfect, but casual, quick games like that, sure.
Yeah, but not anything in depth.
Right.
Yeah, those don't work. So, all right. So
that's pretty much it for this week.
That's it for this week. This week has kind of been, it's been hectic for both of us. You've had a lot going on. Mm-hmm. I bought a new car, which is great, but my last 2 days have been really full. There was no comic book news desk update. There's no video game news desk update because I've been doing car stuff the last couple days. Taking care of business, as it's called. But I've got a fantastic new minivan for the kids.
Oh, yeah.
But we can watch Pokemon DVDs. It might play other DVDs. I'm not sure because I have kids.
Right.
So it plays Pokemon DVDs. So I think we're just going to call it the Pokebeel. Or the Pokemobile. The Pokemobile.
Right.
Something like that. Alright, well, don't forget, guys, if you want to leave us a voicemail, you can call area code 217-953-4025. You can leave us a voicemail on our 24-hour voicemail line. You can also shoot us emails at killin@popculturenetwork.com or dirt@popculturenetwork.com. You can also come by vglosers.com, check out more video game coverage. You can go to videogamelosers.com if you just want to check out this show. And, of course, if you come to either one of those sites, we are part of the Pop Culture Network. You can go to the forums. You can join in with discussions with all the other great people there, as well as leave your own fan corner questions. So, thanks for watching, everybody. On behalf of my esteemed colleague, I'd like to thank you for watching. And don't forget, you can go to shoppcn.com and get great deals on video games, comic books, toys, movies, music, and some random, I think like there's some Japanese swords or hunter swords or some other kind of
Japanese swords.
Japanese hunter swords. If you want to hunt Japanese...
No, you gotta say it the way I say it. Backwards. That's how they do it.
So anyway, guys.
Ditto.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.